Yo, what is up, crew? And welcome back to another vlog. My voice is slowly but surely coming back. I spent this entire weekend just relaxing. And, I'm grateful that it was rainy this weekend off and on. There was one day where it was like super sunny, and then it just got super gray and gloomy, which is a-okay with me because, I spent a majority of my weekend in bed. I woke up with a nasty fever on, I want to say Friday, and I just could not shake it. I worked through my day on Friday and woke up on Saturday just feeling awful. And I mean awful in the sense of like my body was hurting, my head was hurting, my sinuses are like, they still have pressure like right here. So I don't know if it's a sinus infection or if it's, I'm not going to say it because I don't want this video to get taken down because that's a buzzword. And I don't want to get into that. But I wanted to talk about this concept of busyness. If you are constantly busy, one, hopefully the needle is moving forward to you. Two, I'm so curious because a lot of the great business owners and entrepreneurs that I know agree with this. Their constant busyness is a form of escapism at times. So I want you to take an assessment of your life. If you are one of those that identify as someone who is consistently busy and go, and guys, I'm not here to knock those who are productive, who are getting shit done, who are just handling everything they need to. I'm here to polarize the ones who say they are consistently busy, riding one coattail to the next. If you relate to that, this message is for you. Because your consistent busyness is more than likely a form of escapism. I know for myself, I have certain seasons where I'm busier and certain seasons where I'm less busy. And during those seasons where I'm busier, I can't help but recognize, even after that season ends, I will consistently try to fill my schedule and fill my time with activities, like literally things to keep myself busy. Now, are they things that I enjoy and love to do? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I just built a podcast studio, because I have a big vision for it. However, there are definitely times that I've recognized in my life that my busyness is a form of escapism, and it's me running away from either the feelings that I'm feeling because I do not want to truly rationalize the now that I'm in and truly accept the reality for what it is, or it's just cognitive dissonance, which means you are aware of the thing and you are consciously choosing to do nothing about it. Now, either way, that busyness and that escapism is a means to an end. You will never get on the other side of how you are truly feeling until you choose to accept the things that you are feeling. Now, I know that sounds vague and ambiguous, but I'm going to expand even more. Many times, the people that I work with and individuals will find themselves caught up in this dogma of consistently acquiring, attaining, and achieving. Now, I'm not here to knock on achieving things. However, I know more depressed and unhappy, wealthy individuals than I do happy individuals. And there's a lot that can be said for that. Now, I've noticed this. A lot of the individuals, mainly men, since I only work with men, get caught up in the dogmatic thinking of I will be happy when. I'll be happy when I have X amount of money. I'll be happy when I have this house, this car, this person. And I'm not here to knock on happiness. However, I want you to put into perspective right now where you are at and the things that you have accomplished up until now. Now, I can even go to guess that you told yourself, I will be happy when I accomplish X, Y, Z. And here you are on the other side of those goals, setting a new set of goals because you presume that happiness lies on the next set or on the other side of the next set of goals that you are currently setting. It's an ever fleeting bar, a consistently moving target. And if that is the dogma that you are stuck in, there will never be an end. You will consistently continue to raise the bar. And I think that is a part of the human condition. We get the thing we want, or we accomplish the thing we want to do, and then there's another goal. And it's always going to consistently be moving. And if the target's always moving, how do you know when you're there? If you're consistently moving the target, how do you know when you've truly attained the thing that you want to attain? I was telling a friend this story the other day about the wealthiest I had ever felt. And this is in the very beginning of my journey, and I'm going to summarize it here. But it was when I went from living in my car. There was a phase in my life where I was living in my car, my little Ford Fusion, and I was behind on car payments on it. It was a really rough time in my life. I was living out in National City. That's where I would park my car at the time. And then I got too scared in that area. So I ended up parking it at the Balboa 24-Hour Fitness. And every night when I would go to sleep, I would put all the things that I owned inside of my backpack because I was afraid that I would wake up to my car being towed and I would have to get out with all of my things that I had as quickly as possible. It was a very tender time in my life. And I actually used the free Wi-Fi from that 24-Hour Fitness to launch my first website. And 4 days after I launched it, I found myself on ESPN for a first interview of a series of interviews that I did around a company that I had owned during that time. I'll get into it in another video. But all of that to say, I remember shortly thereafter when I made some money, I got an apartment. It was out in Pacific Beach, and it was about a block away from the bay, and it was like 2 blocks away from the beach. And I had always dreamed of living near the beach, living near the bay, living near the water, and being able to afford that in my life. Because I know that the things that I would have had to do and who I had to become was a greater person than I was at that moment. I had to change my beliefs, I had to change my values, I had to change the views that I had of the world and what I believed of myself to be possible and attainable. And I'll never forget the moment that I walked in my apartment. I left that morning at 4 a.m. because I was teaching classes at a local gym that I was also retailing my product at. So I woke up at 4 a.m. to go teach the 5 a.m. class. And I remember getting there, I had extra time before, and I ordered all this furniture from Living Spaces. And they have this amazing option called Deliver and Assemble, where they will deliver your furniture and assemble all of it. And I remember that day when I came home at 9 p.m. later that night because I taught all the classes that day. And I'll never forget that moment when I walked in and I was like smelling all the new mahogany, like a kid on Christmas. And I remember going into the bedroom and turning on the light and doing the iconic, like, you cross your arms like a T, or your arms are in a T, and you just fall right back onto the bed. And I remember laying down onto the bed and closing my eyes and saying out loud, "You did this. No one can take this away from you. You did this." And of course, over the next 3 years, like, our revenue expanded in a way that I never believed or that I never would have seen or foreseen for my life. And my life changed a lot, for the better and for the worst in ways, because I wasn't doing a lot of the self-work that I should have been or could have been doing. And so me constantly hiding behind finances and successes and accomplishments was ultimately the beginning of the end. Me hiding behind those things was ultimately the beginning of the end of not all the good things that were happening in my life. However, it definitely challenged me as a man on really what I thought about myself, at that time, because money was the thing that I put so much emphasis on because I grew up with none. I literally grew up in poverty. But I will never forget that moment, although I've made plenty more money since then. And I'm not here to say that my life is done, it's fruitful, it's where it needs to be. I am still struggling in my own ways. I do not have things perfected. I am human, and I am perfect in my imperfections. I am imperfect is what I'm actually saying. But I've recognized this. That constant acquiring, attaining, and achieving, it's a means to an end. It's a means to an end. And that busyness that many of you get caught up in, ask yourself, are you really busy, or are you just escaping the feelings that you have in order to not rationalize how you truly feel about the now that you're in? Because I can tell you from experience and with conviction, regardless on how much money you have, how much you've attained, and how much you've accomplished, until you have that feeling internally and truly, you will never have enough. And it comes back to enoughness. That's all I got for you guys. I'll see you on the next one.